So finally, Daniel Pantaleo, which is the cop that choked out and killed Eric Garner, he lost his job on the NYPD. But this should have happened a long time ago. But I really want you to listen to the commissioner, exactly what he says. It's going to really sicken you.
Are used to ensure compliance. Society gives our police the legal authority to use acceptable levels of force when necessary, because police cannot otherwise do their job. Every day in New York, people receive summonses or are arrested by officers without any physical force being used. But some people choose to verbally and/or physically resist the enforcement action lawfully being taken against them. Those situations are unpredictable and dangerous to everyone involved. The street is never the right place to argue the appropriateness of an arrest. That is what our courts are for. Being a police officer is one of the hardest jobs in the world. That is not a statement to elicit sympathy from those we served. It's a fact. Cops have to make choices, sometimes very quickly, every single day. Some are split-second, life and death choices. Oftentimes they are choices that will be thoroughly and repeatedly examined by those with much more time to think about them than the police officer had. And those decisions are scrutinized and second-guessed, both fairly and unfairly. No one believes that Officer Pantaleo got out of bed on July 17, 2014, thinking he would make choices and take actions during an otherwise routine arrest that would lead to another person's death. But an officer's choices and actions, even made under extreme pressure, matter. It is unlikely that Mr. Garner thought he was in such poor health that a brief struggle with the police would cause his death. He should have decided against resisting arrest, but a man with a family lost his life, and that is an irreversible tragedy. And a hardworking police officer with a family, a man who took this job to do good, to make a difference in his home community, has now lost his chosen career. And that is a different kind of tragedy. In this case, the unintended consequence of Mr. Garner's death must have a consequence of its own. Therefore, I agree with the Deputy Commissioner of Trials' legal findings and recommendations. It is clear that Daniel Pantaleo can no longer effectively serve as a New York City police officer. In carrying out the court's verdict in this case, I take no pleasure. I know that many will disagree with this decision, and that is their right. There are absolutely no victors here today. Not the Garner family, not the community at large, and certainly not the courageous men and women of the police department who put their own lives on the line every single day in service and to the people of this great city. Today is a day of reckoning, but can also be a day of reconciliation. We must move forward together as one city, determined to secure safety for all New Yorkers, and safety for every police officer working daily to protect all of us. I'll now take your questions.
Now, you heard how that guy was speaking. Did you hear that? He's acting like this guy losing his job is some sort of tragic thing. People lose jobs every day. People do things that's against company policy and they get fired. Same thing with this guy. He broke company policy, which was that illegal chokehold, and he was fired for it. And you reluctantly fired him, first and foremost. That's not nothing you wanted to do. And you're making all this fanfare and pontificating about him, but he knew what he was doing. He felt he can get away with it because that is the culture of policing in America. I can do whatever I want to do, especially to black men in this society, and I'm going to get away with it. And he did get away with it. All he did was lose a job. Is he locked up in jail, state jail? Is he locked up in federal jail? No. So how I look at it, he's good. We know good and well he's going to be rewarded as a race soldier, and he's going to go down the street and get another job at another department. We know that's going to happen. That doesn't, even make me think any different that something's not going to happen when he's not going to ever get a police job ever again. He's going to get one. He was just fired. They have tried to hire cops that kill people right back. Then when I was listening to the police union, they all upset because he won't get his pension. They mad about that. Okay. But then they say they're going to try to fight for him to get his job back. You understand? At the end of the day, the commissioner, he doesn't have any kind of remorse or anything about it. You heard how you blaming Eric Garner. Oh, well, you know, he shouldn't have resisted. Well, we all watched the video. The guy trying to put the handcuffs on him. He puts his hands up at the time period and trying to figure out why you trying to arrest me. Your cop, Daniel Pantaleo, grabbed him when he put his hands up. I mean, like, what are you going to do when he got his hands up? Talk to the man, explain to him a little bit what's going on. You didn't even give him a chance to do anything. You didn't. You was harassing him, and he got tired of you harassing him, because that happens a lot, especially in places like New York, with them cops walking around. See, in New York, you have more interaction with a cop because they walking around. Most cops in most cities, only you have a lot of interaction with them unless they pulling you over. But if it's not pulling over, they're not walking up and down the street like they are in New York. It's a total different situation that's going over there versus most cities in America. Yes, he was fired, but that's not really justice. I mean, justice would be Pantaleo being locked up. That's justice. Because losing a job, but yet he still go home and he's still with his family. He's still with his kids and all that. I mean, shoot, he's good. He is very, very good. He came out very well out of the situation. No jail time, just lost a job. Why are you sitting up here acting like this man lost his life or something, the way you're talking about a police job? I was listening to that Patrick Lynch guy, the one that's head of the police union, and he was just, oh, the job is just, you know, it's dead and you're throwing water on us. And I say, man, how many times y'all done shot black people hundreds of times for no reason? Kill black people, even right there in New York, please. That's the last thing that we even thinking about is him losing his job in some water. We are sat up there, and what happened to the person that threw the water? Didn't they go to jail? I'd rather water get thrown on us than us being shot 100 times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have no sympathy for this guy losing his job. He didn't need to be on the street anyway. The fact is, he was doing things he had no business, and it caught up with him. Because most people like that don't do things just one time and like, oh man, it's a situation that happened. No, he's been doing it. And that's just the end of it. But like I said, in this country, ladies and gentlemen, especially, I'm talking black people especially, you see how they acting. You see, they even had cops walking around protesting. Protesting for what? He lost his job. It's a job. People lose them every day. What's so special about his job over everybody else's? Follow the rules and you won't lose your job. If you got a pension, especially you got a pension, pensions are hard to get these days. Follow the rules. That's it. Don't kill people unjustly. That's it. You won't have these problems. Leave me a comment there and think about the situation with Daniel Pantaleo. I mean, the Garner family did not get any kind of justice. Yes, he was fired, but I mean, if this guy is not getting any kind of jail time, then to me, he got away with it.